Chapter 3. Conqueror. The door to the Hokage's office slams open and all the Junin turn to find an angry, panting Kakashi looking worse for wear. What the fuck, Hokage-sama? Iruka, the perpetual Chunin, is outraged at Kakashi's audacity. Kakashi, even though you may be a Junin, you're still obligated to show the Hokage. Shut the fuck up, Iruka. I think I deserve an explanation. Why is Naruto so damn strong, Hokage-sama? Kakashi demands. The other Junin are confused. Why was Kakashi so angry that he barged into the Hokage's office making demands like this? The Hokage simply smirks. I apologize, Kakashi. All I know is that the past 9 years he spent inside the Forest of Death weren't wasted. He's very powerful, easily stronger than I was in my prime. He's terrifying and he's not above eating people. He's a monster, a powerful monster. The other Junin are horrified at the Hokage's answer. Kakashi even more so. Then why is he still alive? He actually became a demon, Hokage-sama. If the Kyuubi took control of Naruto's body we should. Junin Kakashi, you misunderstand me. Kakashi halts himself. Naruto isn't the Kyuubi incarnate. It's simply a result of the environment he grew up in. The Forest of Death is a mysterious place and being inside of it, living the way he has changed him. His body, his powers, his personality, it's all changed. Now, I understand that you are very apprehensive when it comes to Naruto, so I have decided to remove you as their Junin sensei. I will assign someone much more suited to the role. Hokage-sama, that's unnecessary. I swear Hiruzen unleashes some of his killing intent to silence Kakashi. He also sends shivers of fear down the spines of the other Junin in the room, except for one. My decision is final, Kakashi. Naruto injured you and humiliated you. I mean that as a fact, not an insult. Therefore, I've assigned someone who is bound to get along with him much better. Step forward. Hokage motions to someone in the crowd of Junin in the room. They part, revealing one Uchiha Itachi. Itachi, Kakashi says. Itachi turns and nods at him. Itachi is the most powerful shinobi in the village aside from Naruto. He's already surpassed me. Kakashi, I want you to understand that it isn't that I don't trust you to fulfill your duties as a Junin sensei, I'm doing this for your safety. If Naruto feels you're slighting him in some way, I doubt he'll hesitate to tear you limb from limb. Kakashi's eye widens. Anko, who was attending the Junin meeting, smirks at the thought of her beloved beast monarch tearing the Cyclops Junin apart. Judging from the state you're in, I'm assuming that Team 7 passes. Kakashi sighs and nods. Yes, Hokage-sama, they did, except Naruto is the one who beat me and took the bells. He fought me alone, denying the help of his teammates. One of his attacks leveled a portion of the forest, causing a tree to land on my arm and pinning me in place. He threatened me by saying if I didn't give him the bells, he would take that arm. I have no doubt he would have gone through with it. Kakashi turns to Itachi. He's strong, Itachi. Frighteningly strong. The Hokage chuckles. It's not surprising. If he so desired, Naruto could kill me and take the hat without much trouble. The Junin begin to murmur amongst themselves. The Hokage's admittance to such a thing is unprecedented. One of the Junin speaks up. Dad, you can't be serious. Naruto is only 16 years old. Even if he is a Jinchuriki, he can't be that strong. Hiruzen narrows his eyes at his son, Asuma. I'm completely serious, Asuma. Naruto is very powerful. Kakashi's current condition is proof of that. Kakashi is a borderline S-rank nin and he couldn't touch Naruto. Even I don't know the full extent of his power. It's quite frightening. The Junin widen their eyes. The god of shinobi is afraid of a child. He's fast enough to escape my eyes if he so wishes. And his physical strength is unmatched. Hiruzen sighs. He continues. What I am about to reveal to you all shall never leave this room, understand? The Junin all nod. The knight Danzo and his root Anbu were killed as a knight we all remember, correct? They all nod. The report wasn't entirely true. What me and the squad of Anbu with me found was horrific. Danzo and his root were seemingly mauled by a beast. Claw marks, bodies torn apart, faces eaten off. What I suspect is that Naruto was the one who did it. The Junin all gasp and murmur. Kakashi speaks up, but Hokage-sama. The Root were a subdivision of elite Anbu operatives, all of them at least Junin level, and Danzo himself was a Kage level shinobi. He could even compete with you. Hiruzen nods. That's exactly my point. There were signs of a battle. The Root unleashed their own attacks against Naruto, but he somehow came out unscathed. He hunted them, slaughtered them. He finished off Danzo before he could unleash the explosive seals we found on his body and allowed us to find his treacheries. Danzo's body also had several Sharingan eyes implanted on an arm belonging to the Shodai Hokage, Senju Hashirama, and his right eye was a Mangekyo. I had wondered where Danzo had gotten so many Sharingan eyes, but apparently he had his Root follow several Uchihas on missions outside of the village and had them collect their eyes. He then proceeded to kill Shisui Uchiha himself and stole his eyes, making it appear that Shisui had committed suicide. Hiruzen takes a drag from his pipe. Despite this, Naruto defeated Danzo with little to no effort 2 years ago. He is not only powerful, he is cunning. And I have reason to believe he did it to save the Uchiha clan. Kakashi is puzzled by that conclusion. Why do you say that, Hokage-sama? Hiruzen takes a puff of his pipe. Naruto knows. Things that even Junin aren't privy to. How he knows them, I am unsure. But he does. One of those things were the proposed massacre of the Uchiha clan. The Junin gasp. Hokage-sama, what are you talking about? Kakashi says. Itachi speaks up this time. The Uchiha clan was at one point planning a coup, something that Danzo had been inciting. They felt that Konoha has treated them unjustly and planned to overthrow the Hokage and take control of Konoha, undoubtedly plunging the village into civil war. This would leave Konoha vulnerable to rival villages and ultimately lead to the destruction of the Leaf. I was to be the one to stop them. If Naruto is the one to have stopped me, then I am eternally in his debt. Kakashi is stunned. At the same time he is confused. Hokage-sama, why would he have done such a thing to save the Uchiha clan, though? Hiruzen takes another puff of his pipe before answering. Naruto wasn't treated kindly before he was left in the forest of death to die. He was beaten, kicked out of stores, fed rotten and molded food, and hated for something beyond his control. That's why he treasures the shinobi clans. Even the civilian-born shinobi have treated him badly, some even taking part in his beatings. This causes some of the Junin to scowl at the actions of their fellow shinobi. How could anyone amongst their ranks not see the difference between a warden and their charge? The clans tried to have adopt him and give him a good life because to them, he is a savior. He holds the Kyuubi, but because of Danzo and his meddling, he prevented that. His goal was to capture Naruto and turn him into a weapon. The Junin grow furious at those words. That bastard, a beautiful black-haired Junin with red eyes exclaims. One of the people who showed him extreme kindness as a child was my mother, Makoto. She hated his treatment, and even though we Uchihas aren't the kindest of people, we never minded seeing him around the compound. The Junin nod in understanding. Hiruzen himself chuckles a bit at the statement. So that's why Naruto saved the Uchihas. Because they showed him a little bit of kindness? Kakashi asked in unbelief. Hiruzen nods. See, Naruto often claims semblance to a beast. When a beast is shown hatred or dealt harm, it remembers that and will always pay it back in kind. But when shown love and care, it will always remember that and show loyalty, protecting those ones to the death. Given his feral nature, Naruto is a beast in more ways than one. He's a beast in the bed, too. Anko smirks. So, how did the other teams perform? Hiruzen asks. To no one's surprise, teams 1 to 6 all failed to grasp the meaning of the test. Team 8 passes. The black-haired beauty, Yuhi Kurenai states. She continues, Haruno Sakura displayed extremely high intelligence and immediately grasped the purpose of this test. She formulated an effective strategy and helped rally her teammates to pass the test. Aburame Shino displayed a solid foundation for a shinobi. He is also extremely intelligent and displayed the ability to adjust his own strategies in the heat of combat. Inuzuka Kiba on the other hand has a severe alpha male complex and attacked me head-on. After being soundly defeated, he yelled obscenities at me and I put him under a powerful genjutsu as punishment. After the test, he was extremely flirtatious with Sakura and myself. I put him under another powerful genjutsu as punishment. If he doesn't improve his personality, I will suggest that he be removed from the shinobi program. Hiruzen nods. Inuzuka Sume, on the other hand, lowers her head in shame. She's disappointed in her son's behavior, as she raised him to respect women. She lets out a sigh. Team 10 passes. Their teamwork is flawless and I have no doubt that they are the next Ino Shikacho. Sarutobi Asuma announces with a smirk, proud of the potential his team possesses. Hiruzen nods. Kakashi, go get your arm checked out. Kakashi nods and shunshuns to the hospital. Hiruzen looks at the rest of the Junin. Good work. I expect great things out of this year's crop of genin. Missions start tomorrow. Dismissed. The Junin all file out except for Itachi. He looks at Hiruzen. You knew this would happen to Kakashi. Hiruzen shakes his head. I didn't know for sure. I suspected it but I didn't know for certain. Itachi nods and Hiruzen sighs. Train Hinata and Sasuke well, Itachi. I have no doubt that you and Naruto will get along. But I trust you with them, Itachi. As the next Hokage, you'll need a good genin team. I believe I've given you the best you could find. Itachi nods. Hiruzen leans back in his seat and takes another drag of his pipe. He smirks. How is your wife, Itachi? Itachi smiles fondly, uncharacteristic of the usual stoic demeanor he carries. Izumi-chan is quite well, Hokage-sama. That's good. And little Itsui? Hiruzen asks. Itachi maintains his warm smile. He's also well, Hokage-sama. He is healthy and quite the curious one. His first birthday is quickly approaching, Hokage-sama. I would like to invite you to celebrate with us. Hiruzen nods with a smile. Of course I'll come, Itachi. I'm very happy for you and your family. The Uchiha clan is enjoying a much-deserved time of peace. Itachi agrees. Indeed, I shall go and prepare to meet Team 7, Hokage-sama. Hiruzen nods and Itachi shunshuns out of the Hokage's office. Little did they know, but outside of the Hokage's office, a little birdie heard the entire meeting. I see. That's an interesting development. Naruto finishes listening to the bird's report on the Junin meeting. After his meal with Hinata, they both went in opposite directions after having enjoyed each other's company. Naruto admits that Hinata is an absolutely wonderful woman. As he walks down the main street of Konoha, he ignores the stares he is receiving, jealousy from the men and lust from the women. He suddenly picks up the scent of someone who interests him. He lets a feral grin adorn his face as she comes into view. Walking down through the commerce district of Konoha, Sume ponders what she can do to break Kiba out of his ridiculous alpha male complex. Where did I go wrong with that boy? She asks herself. I take it you mean Kiba. She's startled as she hears a voice behind her. She yelps and turns around quickly. Her eyes land on Naruto, who is laughing at her response. She blushes in embarrassment. That's not funny, pup. I was thinking and you surprised me. Sume shouts. Naruto gathers himself and smiles at Sume warmly, making her heart flutter. Gosh, he's so handsome. My instincts keep screaming at me to take him as my alpha. But he's the same age as that stupid son of mine. Unbeknownst to her, Naruto notices the blush on her face and can already guess the internal dilemma she's facing inside her head. He grinds and moves in closer to her. Sume-chan, are you okay? He cups her chin and raises her face level to his own, staring deeply into her eyes and making Sume go even crazier. Hi, I'm fine. Sume is lost in Naruto's bright violet eyes. Naruto grins again. You know, Sume-chan, I've always found you to be one of the most beautiful women in this village. Sume's heart skips a beat and she turns away. What are you saying, pup? Sume's mind trails off as she remembers her past marriage to the father of her children. He ran away in fear of her, which left her scarred and insecure. Aware that she was very unladylike. How could you be attracted to a bitch like me? I'm wild and unkempt, unlike other women. Hell, I admit that I even smell like an animal, pup. You're wasting your time. I appreciate the compliment, Naruto, but you're better off finding another woman, a real woman, someone better than me. See you around, pup. She starts to walk off but Naruto grabs her hand and stops her. Tsume turns and looks at Naruto, who has a serious look on his face. His eyes and expression is hard and he looks directly into her own eyes. How could you say something like that, Tsume-chan? You are a real woman, a great woman. What could make you think anything different? Tsume grits her teeth. Naruto's words make her very happy but he doesn't know the truth. She needs to tell him. Letting out a sigh, she responds. Come with me to the clan compound. We can talk there. Naruto nods and follows her. He takes note that the main house is completely empty. Naruto knows that Tsume's daughter, Hana, is a highly regarded veterinarian in the village and is most likely at her job. He concludes that Kiba is likely with his team training. Entering into the main house, Tsume gestures to the sitting area. Make yourself at home, pup. I'll grab some drinks. Naruto smiles and nods, watching the sway in her hips as she walks away. After a few moments, Tsume returns with 2 glasses of iced tea and sits one down in front of Naruto. She seats herself across from him. Tsume takes notice that Naruto is eyeing her with a familiar lust-filled gaze. Tsume enjoys the attention of the feral-looking man but sighs, convinced that it would never happen between them. Listen, pup, the reason why Hana and Kiba don't have a father is all my fault. Naruto's interest piques at this. We were married at one time. But it was an arranged marriage. I never liked his attitude. He was brash, arrogant, believing that women should be subservient to men. I had enough and beat him up for it. After that, we kept fighting, physically and verbally. Eventually, he had enough and left. Not just the clan but Konoha completely. He let me know, of course, that I'm not a real woman, and real women don't look, act, and smell like me. Around the time Kiba was 6, I received word that some Konoha hunter nin had killed him. During Tsume's recount of the story, Naruto listened intently, never letting a single detail slip by. Tsume noticed this and smiled slightly at how great of a listener Naruto is. You see, pup, I appreciate your feelings and all but I'm not someone you need to be chasing. You can find yourself a good woman, someone younger and more beautiful than an old bitch like me. Naruto notices her clench her fists at the last part. I'm not worth your attention, Naruto-kun. It just won't. Tsume's eyes widen as Naruto claims her lips. In his mind, Tsume was everything he wanted in a woman. Strong, independent, honest, and loyal, among everything else he likes about her. To hear her criticize herself and call herself an old bitch pissed off Naruto and hurt him. He would have none of it. Leaning further into the kiss, Naruto wraps his arms around her waist and pulls her in. Tsume tenses and tries to resist the searing hot kiss but eventually loses the will to fight. She wraps her arms around Naruto's neck and pulls him on top of her. She closes her eyes as their tongues dance and entwine with one another. After a few more moments of kissing, Naruto pulls back and looks deeply into her eyes. Tsume-chan, you are a woman. You're a beautiful woman. That man is just too stupid to see how fortunate he was to have you at his side. Naruto's voice was more of a husky growl that only served to turn Tsume on even more. Despite her lust for the new beast monarch, she could hear the honesty in his voice. Naruto takes a breath before continuing. I want you, Tsume-chan. Tsume's eyes widen at this. Become my woman, Tsume-chan. You deserve a good man, a real man. He leans down and huskily growls into her ear. A beast of a man. Tsume shudders at Naruto's dominant aura. The kiss, his scent, his physique. Everything about Naruto had turned on the Inuzuka clan head so much that she became vividly aware of the fact that her arousal had leaked through her panties and began soaking her pants. Naruto, being blessed with the senses of a predator, had also been aware of Tsume's arousal and pushed her further. He grabs Sum's ass aggressively and pulls her closer to him, showing off his sharp fangs with a feral grin. Give me an answer, Sum-chan. You can continuing living a lonely life. He leans in and nips gently at the flesh of her neck, eliciting an aroused moan from the Inuzuka matriarch. Naruto leans back, looking her in her eyes, which are heavy with passion and lust. You can become my mate. Naruto accentuates his message by giving the older woman a passionate lick along her chin, jawline, and cheek, savoring the taste of her skin and the salt of her sweat. Sum moans once more, feeling her legs give way beneath her. She clutches onto his clothing to keep her balance. Looking up into his eyes, she lets out a sigh at the dominant male. Her breath is heavy with desire. She manages to form two words that come out as a trembling whimper. Take me. Lemon scene. Naruto's feral grin turns utterly bestial. He lets out a growl and lifts Sum into his arms in a bridal carry. The woman lets out a surprised squeal and melts into his embrace as he carries her into her bedroom, finding it with his powerful nose. Naruto carries her inside and lays her on the bed without throwing her or hurting her. He begins to undress and Sum's eyes widen at his extremely powerful and muscular physique. Her eyes widen even further at the massive bulge in his pants. He grins at the woman's reaction. He chuckles a bit, getting her attention. Naruto, now topless, leans down and claims Sum's lips. The kiss is sloppy and passionate, their tongues fighting for dominance. Sum lays back on her bed as the alpha male climbs on top of her. He shreds her top with his razor-sharp claws, revealing her gorgeous D-cup breasts. He licks his lips hungrily as he sees the beautiful mother's womanly mounds. He claims one of her nipples with his mouth, causing Sum to moan in pleasure. He nips and bites her nipples, making the woman's love juices flood out. Naruto grips the woman's crotch, amplifying her pleasure. He fondles her through her clothing. Sum writhes and claws her bed in ecstasy. She can't fight it, she can't hold back. With a loud cry, her vagina clenches and throbs as she orgasms at the mere touch of the man she's fallen for. Her squirt soaks her pants and leaks through them. She bucks her hips and her legs shiver as the powerful orgasm rips through her body, destroying her senses and turning her vision white. As her orgasm settles, she gasps and pants, her tongue hanging out her mouth and her eyes heavily lidded. Naruto chuckles as he surveys his handiwork, proud that he conquered the beautiful woman in front of him. Naruto stands up and pulls off his pants, revealing the monster inside of them. Sum's eyes widen at the massive length and girth of his member. This man will break her and she knows it. He gives the woman his signature feral grin. You ready for this, Inuheim? Sum gulps but nods. Naruto reaches for her pants and shreds them with his claws. He licks his lips at her moist womanhood, her scent flooding the room. Naruto resists the urge to mount her and pound her until she breaks. Instead, he chooses to enjoy this woman and give her the ultimate pleasure. Spreading her legs, Naruto dives into the woman's folds, lapping and devouring her juices and savoring her flavor. Sum moans and tears at her sheets. Fuck. MMMNNH. Naruto-sama. Fuck. She bites her lip so hard, she draws blood. Naruto enjoys eating the Inuzuka matriarch out. Her flavor and scent drive him to the point of nearly losing reason. Naruto finds Sum nearly perfect. Anko may have competition for alpha female. Sum's hips buck once more. She floods Naruto's mouth with an eruption of her juices. Naruto happily drinks them. Sum is near unconscious. She's never orgasmed so hard in her life, let alone twice in a row. She's never, ever squirted before. With what consciousness she has remaining, she looks Naruto in his eyes. His eyes are as full of passion and lust as hers. It makes her happy that such a demigod has so much desire for her. She'll happily give herself to him whenever he wants her. Naruto positions his tip at her entrance. Sum swallows and grips his muscular arms. She moans loudly as he pushes his way inside her. Naruto growls as he feels her womanly folds wrap themselves around him. He pushes deeper, eventually bottoming her out. Tsume's expression contorts into a silent scream. She momentarily loses consciousness as Naruto's massive member buries itself inside of her. Naruto leans down and claims her mouth. He begins pounding away at her womanhood. The feral couple fill the room with slapping and moaning, the air becomes heavy with the musk of their mating. Tsume loses consciousness several times as she experiences orgasm after orgasm. Her bedsheets are ruined, several tears riddle them and they are soaked with bodily fluids from both Naruto and Tsume. The bestial pair continue mating for several hours, and Tsume's stomach bulges slightly from the amount of seed Naruto releases inside of her. Because of Tsume's brain being flooded with ecstasy, she fails to sense someone enter into her house. Naruto, however, smirks at recognizing who it is. "I'm home," a voice says. Naruto hears but Tsume is out of it, squirting all over his dick. Kiba hears moaning coming from upstairs, thanks to his powerful hearing. He also picks up a strange scent. He rushes upstairs, the sounds of grunting, moaning, and slapping growing louder, the musky scent growing stronger. The trail leads him to his mother's room. Opening the door, Kiba's eyes widen in horror. His mother, the strongest woman he knows, is being conquered by her classmate, the boy who embarrassed him and humiliated him in front of his mate, his temper snapping. Kiba bursts through the doorway and charges at Naruto as he pounds his mother from behind. Naruto reaches out his hand and grasps him with his telekinesis. He pins Kiba to a wall with the invisible force. Kiba is immobilized as Naruto goes back to work on subjugating his mother. Kiba is forced to watch as Naruto destroys the Inuzuka matriarch, his massive length gouging deep inside her, his mother's tongue rolled out of her mouth, her throating screams and moans. The rippling of her ass with every thrust. Tears begin to roll down Kiba's face as he watches his classmate fuck his mother into the mattress. He's confronted by waves of complicated emotions, ranging from anger, hatred, sadness, regret, and arousal. He feels a slight bulge in his pants as he begins to feel aroused at the sight before him. To make matters worse, Naruto decides to break Kiba mentally. He cracks a grin, showing off his fangs. He grabs the Inuzuka mother by her hair and pulls, eliciting another moan of ecstasy. "Nay, Tsume-chan, tell your son how you're feeling right now." Tsume, intoxicated with her sexual high, moans out, "Hua." Naruto pounds into her furiously, making her cry out in pleasure even harder. Her smacks her juicy ass, causing the woman to squeal in pain and pleasure. "Pay attention, woman, your son is watching." Tsume turns and sees her son pinned to the wall by an unknown force. She smiles weakly at him. "Sorry, Kiba-kun. But this man is mommy's new alpha." Kiba's eyes widen at his mother's words. "Mom, no, snap out of it, this isn't you." Naruto grunts and pounds into the Inuzuka matriarch even hard, the slapping sounds intensifying and Tsume's moans growing louder. Kiba growls, "You bastard. Let my mother go." Naruto laughs loudly. "Ha ha ha ha. Oh, I love this. I get to fuck your beautiful mother and put you in your place at the same time. This is fucking great." His thrusts increase in frequency as he nears his orgasm. He turns and looks Kiba in his eyes. "Hey Kiba, I hope you take care of your new brother or sister. 'Cause I'm about to fucking nut in your mother." Kiba's eyes widen. "Stop it, no. Leave my mother alone, no." Naruto roars and spills his seed in the Inuzuka matriarch again, causing her to cry out as her orgasm rips through her again. She loses strength in her arm and falls to the mattress limp. Kiba watches in horror as the scene plays out. Tsume faints. Naruto chuckles at the sight of his handiwork. He pulls out, causing his cum to pour out of Tsume's snatch. He's amused at the sight of the broken form of the Inuzuka matriarch. Face buried in her pillows, ass high in the air just begging for his dick. He gives the mature woman one last smack on her ass, causing her to jump instinctively. "That was a good fuck, babe," he tells the unconscious Tsume. He turns toward Kiba, his massive cock dangling. He walks over to him shamelessly. With his grin showing his fangs, He says, "Guess I'm the real alpha now, huh boy." He releases his telekinesis and Kiba falls to the floor limply, not even having the will to fight anymore. Naruto chuckles. "Who knows, I might break your sister next. No harm in keeping it in the family, right boy?" Naruto gives Kiba a condescending pat on his head, walking out of the room. Naruto's laugh haunts Kiba as he makes his way to the kitchen, shamelessly naked and not caring if anyone sees. Kiba simply stares at the broken form of his mother. Her eyes rolled back in her head, her tongue fall out of her mouth and on the bed, forming a stain of drool. Naruto's seed continues to leak out of her, staining the bed. Kiba's tears continue to fall. He feels that it's his fault this happened to his mother. He feels the anger towards Naruto for doing this to her, sadness at seeing his mother in this pathetic state, as a contempt for his classmate, and guilt. Guilt that he had become aroused at watching it. Guilt at the pathetic nub in his pants. Guilt at the sticky stain in his trousers. Later that day, more moans fill the Inuzuka compound main house, this time from Kiba's sister. Kiba locks himself in his room with Akamaru, unable to escape the cries of pleasure coming from the two most important women in his life. His dreams are haunted by them, by the grunts of Naruto as he dominates his mother and his sister. That day, Naruto conquered the Inuzuka family. He became the true alpha male.